Hello there.
Welcome, welcome to season 3.
Number 3, baby.
Number 3. Rise of the Clone Wars of Star Wars in a Galaxy. Watching as much Star Wars as we can get our hands on.
That's right.
That's right. Oh my god. So, this season's gonna be really cool and really interesting, I think. One of the things I think I might do, and Jacob, if you wanna do with me, I think this would be really, really cool. Do you want to do a watch-along guide so the lovely people can know what we're doing every week for this season?
Yeah,
I think that would be a
that
great
sounds good.
idea.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I'm not quite sure what you
So
mean by
basically,
watch-along.
we'll say like, we'll put a chart on the days we're posting, and then if you want to watch along with us,
okay, yeah.
watch
Totally.
this much. We'll be watching again for Attack of the Clones, which is what we're watching about right now. We'll be watching the Disney Plus versions for the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars in the second half of the season. We'll find a YouTube link and we'll share that link with all you people.
Fantastic.
So we'll be doing the watch along guide, but yeah, let's get into the analysis. And man, I have a lot of stuff to analyze for this. I wrote like more notes than probably any other session of In a Galaxy for this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy because I feel like I had the few like close to the
So
fewest.
it'll be a good balance.
Yeah.
First we get our infamous crawl, and we got to do our famous crawl review. So what do you think of this crawl?
I think it's a little wordy as the
It feels to me like the most clunky of the crawls that I remember. Like even with like there's some really weird lines in the crawls. Like we have, of course, the infamous "the dead speak" from The Rise of Skywalker. We have
great line.
Great line. We have what else? We have the very weirdly phrased New Hope crawl when they're still trying to figure this out. But this one feels very, very strange to me. I don't know if you think the same.
How so specific does it feel strange?
So,
to me, it just felt wordy.
It did. It felt wordy, but let me ask you one question, okay? So the first line of this is "There's unrest in the Senate." Doesn't that sound like something?
We live in a Senate.
What?
We live in a Senate.
We live in a Senate. Doesn't that sound like weirdly like the last movie? Like, if you were watching this in 2002 when it was released in Attack of the Clones 2002, and the first line of the crawl was "There unrest in the Senate," I don't know. For me, I would think, well, okay, there was plenty of unrest in the Senate last movie. Nothing's changed, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that makes it feels like, huh?
It feels like there's nothing really like they beat the bad guys, but the Senate's still corrupt. The Senate, there's still unrest. What happened? It's been 10 freaking years.
Yeah, I get that.
They also, I don't know if you noticed this, but like, when they're talking about, oh, what system is this? The Ilenium system from Force Awakens or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, so this might be just me, but I was kind of surprised when they used the full term in the crawl. They said thousands of solar systems.
Yeah, that felt interesting because they always say system.
They always say system, Ilenium system, Dakar system. I think actually Dakar is in the Ilenium system. Never mind.
Yeah.
Hoth is in the Anuit system. No,
I didn't know
sector. That. No, sorry, Hoth is in the Anuit
Sector.
sector.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, that sounds right.
The Hoth system, but like the thousands of solar systems. Yeah. So what's happening is that thousands of systems have said, Republic, we're sick of you. We're leaving and forming our own government. And that's going to be known as the Separatist Alliance over the next 3 years of Star Wars stuff. And they say they talk about the leader, the quote mysterious Dooku.
Ooh, big Mysterio.
Big mysterious, except for not really.
Yeah.
Except for like it does feel like after watching Bounty Hunter, we're like, okay, mysterious, not really. He's the bad
Yeah,
guy.
like,
We know that.
yeah.
I mean, people probably wouldn't have played Bounty Hunter that time, but it does feel a little strange. Also, there's one more thing. Um, did you notice they said this is not an inaccuracy. It's just a weird phrasing of something. The crawl was talking about the quote limited number of Jedi Knights.
What limited number of Jedi Knights? There's so many.
There are, I mean, comparatively, I guess you could say limited because there are millions of systems in the galaxy, and there are about 10,000 Jedi Knights.
Yeah, I guess
The crawl
when you
isn't
think about
wrong
like,
per se, but like calling the Jedi limited is weird.
I guess I can
The
actually
galaxy's
I feel like I can
huge.
see how it makes sense.
The galaxy's huge. The Jedi are substantial. They're just not huge. You
Yeah.
know. The crawl also says the Jedi are needed to maintain order and peace.
I've bought
Order
peace.
and peace. By the way, I love this is actually just something I realized, and then and then maybe you can tell us some of your thoughts about the crawl. But I realized the Phantom Menace is the weirdest episode of the Skywalker saga because it's like the only movie of the Skywalker saga where the Jedi are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's the only movie where it feels like they're really doing everything that like they're really doing enough, you know?
It's
All
not
the
that
other
they're
movies
doing
are either
enough. It's that they're like the Phantom Menace. In the Phantom Menace, the Jedi are fighting for one reason and one reason only: to defend, not to attack. They're not generals in a war. They're not leaders of an army. They're
knowledge and
not
defense,
knowledge
never
and
attack.
defense. Never attack. Yoda ESB. Um, you know, it does feel like from this point on, Jedi will always be in a militant role, which is not their role. It's not their job to do
Yeah,
that. Mace Windu says, we'll get to this later on, Mace Windu says, we are keepers of the peace, not soldiers. He proves that wrong about 2 hours later,
yeah.
decapitating Jango Fett.
But I mean, to be fair, Jango Fett was shooting at. He was trying to
He
save the
was
other
he
Jedi. To
okay,
be
never
fair,
mind. Never mind. That's a bad example. What's a better example is, all the battle droids. Like all those people that like the Jedi attacked that facility on Geonosis. That is just undoubtedly true.
yeah.
Yes, they were captured before, but
They
like
thought they were doing it to save the captured people, but they were getting played.
they were getting played. They were getting played the entire time. Yeah. You have any more thoughts about the crawl? It's a weird crawl. It's a clunky crawl. They have to fit a lot of information from like 10 years. Because keep in mind, even Bounty Hunter was in the same year as the Phantom Menace, so we really have gone 10 years.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's kind of nuts. What else? Oh yeah. So, let me ask you another question. A couple thousand systems announced their intentions to leave the Republic, right?
Yeah, what you do.
What would be the first reaction? Like, what would be the first logical, rational reaction to this?
Oh my God, why? What can we do to make you stay?
What is the actual reaction to this?
You're all traitors. Boo on you.
Oh, I was
Boo,
gonna go
kill,
with.
death,
I
die.
was gonna go with. Let's create an army. Like
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
seriously, a couple thousand systems are leaving the Republic. The first idea that anyone comes to is let's create an army.
Like, there's so many. There's 1,000 systems. Like, what the heck?
Go ahead with your army. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Oh yeah. Did you notice that they said the Krull talked about the army to assist the overwhelmed Jedi in quotes?
Yeah, ironic.
Well, not really. It's not ironic because it's not true. The Jedi have not been overwhelmed. You know
I mean,
why?
they
Because
kind of. I mean,
you haven't fought in a single battle against the
okay, yeah,
Separatists.
I
They
see what you
can't be
mean. Yeah,
overwhelmed when they haven't fought any
yeah.
battles.
Maybe they mean it was politically overwhelmed. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
It's just like you can't say that people are overwhelmed with battle when they haven't been in any battles.
True, 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 true. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I
It's
wonder where they were going with that.
it's a weird crawl. It's a weird crawl, but it's not as weird as like the actual movie.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff in this. There's some really strange stuff.
I just gotta say though, big shout out to the to the team. That first shot with with Padme's spaceship, that
It was
shot is
pretty
mega
good. It was
cool.
pretty good.
That shot is
There was a
mega
lot of
cool.
overhead shots that I actually admit I admit I don't really remember a lot of those overhead shots, and it was a pleasant surprise seeing a lot of those kind of overhead shots. Did you know? Speaking of overhead shots, this is the only opening of Star Wars where the camera pans up and not down.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy that there's only one. I thought there would be
No,
more,
only
but
Attack of the Clones. Episodes 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all pan down.
guess Attack of the Clones is special after all.
Special. I don't know if you noticed, when the explosion happens, so an explosion happens when, it's an attempted assassination on Padme.
I guess they were wrong. There is no danger at all.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's probably copyrighted. I
I
gotta
feel like
remove that.
that is like that is the definition of the of how to use that Curb Your Enthusiasm song.
I
If you
actually,
want to make a funny video.
I gotta say,
George Lucas,
I
you
literally
monster.
wrote down, don't count your bombs before they explode.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed, in the explosion, Private Wilhelm struck only 3 minutes and 24 seconds into this movie.
The Wilhelm scream?
The Wilhelm scream. It's a low-pitched Wilhelm scream, too. It's not, ow!
Oh.
It's, oh!
Yeah.
It's weird, and they use it so quickly. Also, I don't know if you noticed, I've watched Attack of the Clones quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I realized, where's the bomb? Like, where is the physical bomb?
I think I feel like I was reading a reference book or something, and it said it was on the landing platform.
Okay.
So I guess the bomb was like in the landing platform before they got there.
So because we never actually see the bomb. I really tried looking, but we
that's a
never
good point.
see the bomb, and
It's like,
so it's a
boom,
weird.
big boom.
Yeah.
Big boomers.
Oh no, not the Jar Jar.
Uh-oh.
We'll get to Jar Jar.
Big boomers.
We get to Jar Jar later in this, but also, I'm about to reference a big meme point, and I believe it's also in the How It Should Have Ended for Attack of the Clones. I'll link that. But when Corday dies, she's like, "I'm sorry, Senator, I failed."
No, you did your job perfectly.
You did your job amazing.
You played your part, and
extremely well.
You literally
that is her job.
Part,
she did an amazing job at her job.
Yeah.
So then we get to a meeting between Palpatine and a bunch of Jedi, and we got some new Jedi for this movie. Of course, we have from Phantom Menace, we have Plo Koon, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Master Yoda. But for this movie, we have our first appearances of Masters Kit Fisto and Luminara Unduli and Padawan Barriss Offee.
Oh yeah, that's right. You see them, right?
Yeah, we do. They're chilling in the background. I just listed 7 Jedi, right? They're in the same room as Palpatine. They don't sense a thing.
Palpatine is
like he's really
Palpatine's
doing,
just like that, man. You know,
he is really pulling those strings.
Yeah.
And then he talks about the Republic standing. Do you remember he said, "I will not allow this republic that has stood for 1,000 years." Um, I'm interested to see what the High Republic does about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's only about 200 years before the Phantom Menace, so that's about 230 years BBY in canon. But I wonder if the Republic still existed for 1,000 years or more. I know in Legends, the Republic stood for way more than 1,000 years,
Yeah.
but there's in Legend there's this thing called the Rusan Reformations
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
negotiated by the ancestor of Chancellor Finis Valorum, Chancellor Tarsis Valorum. And
That's where that's after Bane
that no
destroys.
no Bane's still alive, but yeah, that's after he destroys the Brother of Darkness and the Army of Light, and the Republic wins that war. This is all Legend stuff, so it technically doesn't exist anymore. Still cool. Um, what else? Oh yeah, we have our technical first Star Wars appearance of CGI Yoda.
Yep.
He looks much better. He looks much better in this than Phantom Menace. I gotta say, I'm still
Glad we can
maintaining
agree on.
that Puppet Yoda, the Episode 1 Puppet Yoda is great.
Okay. Yeah. Agree to disagree on that.
I don't know. It just there's anything from the first. This is like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Any thoughts you kind of have?
Not really. It kind of drags, even though
There's a lot of there's. I realized in the first 20 minutes, at least not like this doesn't really happen. I don't think in the later parts of the movie. There's a lot of political grandstanding in this. There's a lot of
there
like
is, yeah.
there's a it feels like there's some interesting like evolution stuff in here. For example, I don't know if you noticed that that Yoda says impossible to see the future is to Palpatine.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
remember
I mean,
and you remember in Empire Strikes Back he says difficult to see the
to
future
see
is.
futures. That's an interesting connection. He changes his perspective.
He changes his perspective.
Softens it when he
And
realizes what a mastermind Palpatine is. I wonder.
maybe I don't know. I was trying to think of what made him change it. I was thinking maybe his like because it's seen in the throughout the prequel trilogy that Yoda believes in the prophecy more and more as it goes on.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think maybe it's the prophecy. Maybe it's his journey to Dagobah in like and other places at the end of season 6 of Clone Wars.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's the events of New Hope and Empire where Luke like he sees the new hope of the galaxy, and maybe I don't know. Also, did you notice that I'm and I of course noticed this thing because I really like Yoda as a character. He's my favorite Star Wars character. Did you notice that they got a Yoda they got a Yoda speak wrong?
Really? Is there like a specified code for Yoda speak? Because it seems like there are some senses where you could have multiple different ways that could seem legit. What is it though? Here,
So
I'll give my opinion.
So what what I know is like you always make the verb like an active any active verb you like for example I talk like Yoda, for example. Make that in an English sentence, right? I talk like Yoda. If you make it into Yoda speak, talk like Yoda,
Like Yoda,
I do.
I do.
Yeah, but
but they said like Yoda, I talk.
No, what they did.
Oh, really?
All right, here's what you here's what the Yoda sentence. So what the ultimate like sentiment of the sentence is actually Yoda says it just in English. He says, "Seeing you alive brings warm feelings to my heart." That is just a regular English line, but Yoda says that. What's the Yoda translation that it should have been?
Warmth to my heart, seeing you alive brings.
I was going with "seeing you alive, warm feelings to my heart it brings."
I missed the warm feelings part. Yeah, that also makes sense.
Um, it does feel. I mean, like I'm not gonna fault them on messing it up that one time. I just I noticed it and I wanted to point it out because it was interesting that they just left it in English when it does have an actually good Yoda speak translation into there. Also, by the way, seeing you alive brings warm feelings to my heart. I thought Jedi were supposed to be like devoid of all emotion,
Yeah,
Master
he's the
Yoda.
one who's like, no compassion we must show. Unemotional robots a Jedi must be.
And then
Desolate.
here's he like, and then here he's like, and I understand it could be like pleasantries, I guess, but just look at the way he says it. It does seem like it does seem like there's some weird hypocrisies in this movie, just like in the Phantom Menace. Um, Also, I did you notice? Did you notice that Mace Windu says to Padme that you do know, milady, that Dooku was once a Jedi.
Milady.
I like that he's like.
Milady.
I just like that Mace Windu says Dooku was a Jedi once. Now, in canon continuity, you can't really talk about much, but if we're going with legends, Mace Windu, I'd like you to talk with Darth Revan, Free Nad, Exar Kun, Darth Malak, and the wife of Jolie Bindo for Once a Jedi, Always a Jedi. Just saying. Also Darth Ruin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like once a Jedi, not always a Jedi. You can't assume that. Anything from that like council sort of scene with Padme or with the Jedi or with Palpatine.
Not really. It all seemed pretty good to me. Felt like
There,
a.
I don't know. It felt kind of clunky, sort of.
I
Like,
guess. I mean, a lot of the. I mean, I think at this point it goes without saying I'm not a fan of this show's acting or
oh
show
man,
movie.
no, I
Yeah, I
know,
think it goes without saying I'm like not a fan of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's some. I do think that Ian McDermott is as good as always here. Um, we also get our first appearance of Bail Organa, the actual Bail Organa, not
What?
the Adrian Dunbar, the Jimmy Smits Bail Organa. Um, who, by the way, props to Jimmy Smits because he was of course Bail Organa in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith in 2002 and 2005, but he
Yes.
returned in 2016 to play Bail Organa again in Rogue One,
True.
which is great.
That is pretty
Um,
cool. Yeah. He
uh,
even looks like the guy. He even looks like the actor in the original, so it works out. It all works out.
it all works out. Let's see. We get the last thing I noticed is we get and of course then we go to the famous elevator scene.
Oh,
You seem to
jeez.
be a little on edge. I haven't felt it since this tense since we fell into that nest of Gundarks. You fell into that nightmare, Master, and I rescued. Like seriously, why aren't we seeing that? Why aren't we seeing Obi-Wan and Anakin falling like Nest of Gundarks, a Star Wars story, please? You know?
Yeah.
It's like seriously though.
What like why is they're telling us about so many cool things and then we're just not seeing them.
That
You
is
know?
that is a problem this movie has is that
That
it
feels very problematic. Like the
tells
whole
not shows.
10 times. No, only 9 times. That
Oh,
time on.
that's
Oh no, is
Tayten
that Revenge of the
Nomodia.
Sith?
That's Revenge of the Sith, but
Oh,
still.
oh, oh. Is that the one where it's like I'm not brave enough for politics?
Yeah, that's right there. Um
Yeah, okay. Never mind then. But still,
yeah.
similar problem this movie suffers from.
I also don't know if you realize this is like remember the Nabooan alphabet thing that I noticed on the Starfighter in episode 1?
Yeah.
I found my like new notice thing from episode 2, which is did you notice that like the balcony on Padme's apartment has a window that folds up and down?
Huh. Interesting.
I never
I
noticed
didn't.
that. Go back right now to the Disney Plus thing. and
Oh,
look
I don't have
at.
access to Disney Plus right now. I'm recording
Okay,
this from my phone,
okay,
but in a minute I will.
but seriously, when you have the chance, go back and watch. Look for the window on the balcony. It folds up and down. It happens twice. It's really weird. Um,
All
and
right, I'll
then
be
we of
sure to.
course get introduced to maybe one of the worst actors in Star Wars,
Uh-oh. What were you gonna say?
Hayden Christensen. He
Of
he.
course, it's the person that prequel memes loves the most.
I mean, this movie is egregious for him. That like Revenge of the Sith is better. This movie is absolutely egregious. Um, I
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's really creepy. Did you notice that?
He is really. Yeah, the dynamic is like kind of. It's kind of creepy. The dynamic between them, where she always be like, she like
It's like
Padme. Like, how many times is there something where Padme says "stop it" and he's like, "Oh, sorry, milady," and then just like keeps like following her. Like, bro, you're being creepy, dude. Like, knock it off.
my favorite is when he says, I don't think she liked me watching her. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, why
Like,
would
yeah,
she like
watching
that?
her. I wonder.
And the way
Hmm.
he says the word watching is especially,
Watching
I
her.
don't think she liked me watching her. It's like, jeez, Anakin, really? And I gotta say, Obi-Wan's not much better because he embarrasses Anakin in front of Padme and all the other staff, and like
Yeah.
neither of them or like I don't really find a reason. I'm not really finding a reason at this point to be invested in rooting for any of the three main characters at this point.
Yeah. Like, Padme
Padme is just there.
just like the way she talks and everything is like, ugh.
Anakin is a
It's like the acting is
creepster.
just like, okay.
Anakin is a
Yeah.
creepster and a jerk. Obi-Wan is an
100%.
overbearing master. Obi-Wan's gonna get better, but still. Ewan does a really good job, I gotta say. Ewan McGregor does a very, very good job. Even though the lines are just kind of terrible. But, yeah. We get to Jango Fett and what other character? Zam Wessel. Sorry,
Zam
Wazell.
Is it Wazell?
Shoot.
It's Wazell.
I'm going to
Come
do
on,
that every
Eli.
single time. I'm going to do that every single time.
You've let me down, not
I
calling her
I am.
Wazell.
Anyway, so
Zam
something I
Weasel.
noticed this time. Did you notice that Django says to Zam, "There can be no mistakes this time."
So what did she do last time? Did she mess up in the video
No,
game? Like, is that a reference to that
no.
or what?
Actually, I think it's a reference to the bombing.
Oh,
But I think it's an interesting that he says that because knowing that it makes her death later on a
yeah.
little more obvious.
It's also just like what? So what exactly was the mistake? Not big enough bomb? Like,
I think he was
dude,
like,
they placed a bomb large enough to literally just blow up everything. Like on the
yeah.
blow up the entire spaceship.
Let's see. Also, let me ask you something. I'm gonna look up this now. Jacob and I have been doing some preliminary discussion of Attack of the Clones because of one thing, which is the plans, like everything that spills out from in Attack of the Clones from Padme's assassination doesn't really make sense.
How so?
I think so for example, we never really understand who orders like who's working for who. We know Django Fett orders Zam Wesell to do something to do this, right?
Yeah.
But who is Django working for? Directly.
Person.
Like, there are
Good
three
point.
options. He's working for Dooku, he's working for Sidious, or he's working for Nute Gunray. The only reason I'd say Nute Gunray is because Nute Gunray wouldn't join the Separatists.
Yeah. Unless
Unless Padme's head was on her desk.
His death. Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Padme's
here we
death.
go. Here's this is the official Wikipedia page for Newt Gunray right now. Newt Gunray agreed to join the Separatists in return for one concession: that his old adversary, Senator Amidala, be killed as revenge for his loss during the Naboo crisis. Count Dooku agreed and arranged for the bounty hunters Jango Fett and Zam Wessel, I don't know what it is, to assassinate the senator. So it
That
was
seems pretty.
it was
like
it was Dooku
like
on
they needed a little
orders
more
from Gunray.
communication.
So it was Dooku on orders for Gunray.
I guess it was really Dooku's orders, but
It was
Gunray's
Dooku's orders.
request.
Gunray's request. Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I was interested in seeing like why, like who ordered that, and wait, interesting. Did you know another handmaiden of Padme's died in that explosion?
No, but Padme didn't. Did she also fail Padme?
Apparently Versailles. Yes, Corday and Versailles. By the time that Zam tries to do the Kohuns, the leeches in Padme's bedroom,
Yes.
she must not know that Jedi are protecting her.
Yeah,
right?
definitely not, because they can sense living organisms.
Yeah, because I was about to say,
no,
if she knew,
not.
that would like,
yeah, if she knew,
that would have been a terrible plan.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had to think that she wouldn't know. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, this is hilarious. So, Obi-Wan's like, we have to protect Padme, we can't investigate for her, right?
But wouldn't investigating help protect her?
That too, but the funny thing is that the whole "we can't investigate" flies out the window as Obi-Wan flies out the window on the droid.
Yes,
but
well, I think at that point he thinks, oh man, whoever this is serious. Like it's time to take off.
Did you also get my joke?
The beaten path.
Did you get my joke?
Yes.
Also,
yeah.
My favorite part of this whole thing is Obi-Wan is flying down. He's like, Zam shot the droid, right? And he's flying down, and Anakin somehow, with his crazy flying skills, manages to catch him. And what is his first line? The first thing he says is, "What took you so long?" Not, "Thanks for saving my butt, Anakin." No. But no, "What took you so long?"
You don't think it's just friendly banter? Maybe. I
mean, maybe it's friendly banter. It's just like he could have died.
Yeah.
Like Obi-Wan could have died.
True.
That's the only thing. Like, if it was if Obi-Wan's life wasn't in that much jeopardy, I'd say maybe it was friendly banter. But like, seriously.
Okay, fair. I don't know.
Also, there is also an evolution. Did you notice that Obi-Wan says at the beginning of this movie, "I don't mind flying, but your idea of it is ridiculous."
Yeah.
So,
that part.
And of course, at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan famously says, "I hate flying."
Yep.
So my question is Anakin really that reckless of a pilot? Apparently. Those are all my thoughts on like the first 20 minutes. There's a lot, I feel like. Do you have anything?
It's funny how many layers Dooku goes through. Trying to kill Padme.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like no one can like carry out anything. Like, if Dooku tried to assassinate Padme himself,
it would be boom. Bada bing, bada boom.
He would have succeeded on the first try, no questions asked.
Oh my gosh! I just thought of something.
What?
What if Dooku purposely wanted the assassination to fail in order to make Anakin stay around Padme to facilitate them falling in love.
You know what's funny? I actually had basically the same thought, except for one alteration.
What?
What if Palpatine was behind that instead of Dooku? What if, like,
Palpatine went through Dooku?
No, what if Palpatine said, hey, Dooku, purposefully botched the assassination attempts?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's actually really possible. Because
and then wait,
Dooku knows his stuff, you know? Like,
Dooku does know his stuff. Dooku's very intelligent. Dooku is extremely intelligent. Yeah, I agree. I think that as well. In the meantime, though, until next week. Next week, of course, we are going to be doing the next 20 minutes of episode 2, Attack the Clones, 20 to 40. Like so.
That's
right. You know, subscribe to us on all of the platforms: Anchor, Breaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, healthcare.gov.
Woo.
All of that good stuff. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's another great place of accessing our content. That's Beyond a Galaxy too, isn't it? Yes, it is. What else do we got? Follow us on Twitter. You know, we have a Discord server now. I'm trying to think of any other avenues of stuff we have right now. I think that's it. Until the meantime, in the meantime, though, may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Oh, yeah, my favorite thing to say.